Ladies and gentlemen, F.D Signifier is in the building. Finally. It's been a long time. Replay that clip you need to see. We were doing a hog watch. Don't respond to her. Don't look at her when she barks. That's definitely a big no-no because she needs to learn that she can't get attention that way.
Hog watch is when we look at Republican fuckery. What are the language parameters?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so cool. Like, how do you? We're gonna have to talk about this for me eventually. Let's do some hog watching.
Yeah, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
We got to get into the nature of context. I'm looking at this. I don't understand how your brain can process what I'm looking at.
Yeah, this is like, I've been doing this for so long that it's second nature. So it's not that, it's not that hard for me, but it is definitely confusing for a lot of people when they try to comprehend it for the first time ever. I just saw somebody say every time a guest comes on, this conversation happens. Yeah. But no, because I'm also, I stream to like 500 to 1,000 people every randomly. It's not that different than streaming to 35,000 people.
I mean, I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm trying.
I think it's the same. I mean, it's just like the principles, the fundamentals are the same.
Which is be entertaining.
Yeah.
Don't say anything that is gonna get you clipped and canceled. Which I
say things that get me clipped and canceled all the time.
I'm aware of. I'm aware of this. I'm transgressing somewhat. I have some people that are in my community that are not gonna be happy that I'm here.
Really?
Yes. Oh, Hasan, surely you know.
That's crazy. I'm always shocked when people whose like opinions I'm very closely aligned with, at least. Like, I'm shocked when their communities are like, don't talk to that guy.
So let's run back to like not our, because it was one-sided initially. Like my first impression of you, right?
Oh yeah.
It was not necessarily positive. I had to be corrected by other people in my community whose opinions I trusted, because I saw aesthetics. You know what I'm saying? I see behind me, I see the beard. It's not fully on your neck. So you've upgraded beyond the typical aesthetics. And I see the frogs and like the stuff going past. And so, I'm out of touch. I'm like, oh, this is another one of these motherfuckers. And so like, I'll never forget, I put you in the first Break Bread video.
Yeah, as a debate bro.
Yeah. Which I apologize for, Chad.
No, it's all good. I mean, dude, listen, that was like, as far as like left-wing content creators not fully grasping what I do, yours was like the least offensive. So I never really got upset at that beyond like, oh, it's just a misunderstanding, but I totally understand why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I think so it's a combination of things. I think the first step is aesthetically. Oh, I need one of these. Can I go ahead and can I partake?
It's nicotine gum.
Oh, this isn't like a massager? What is this?
That's a massage. Yeah. Go ahead.
Now you've extended my welcome here a good 30 minutes at least. You gotta show me how to use that.
No, hold on, I'll show you. And he's using the massage gun.
The people that are longtime viewers of mine that know that every
you just first you turn it up. Change the
people that have watched my oh my fucking God.
Dude, listen, I'm in the same boat. That's why I have it.
So this is a future investment. No, trust me, you don't know what old feels like yet, Hasan.
How old are you?
I'm 40. I turned 41 Monday.
Okay, well, I'm not that far off.
Are you about 30 yet?
I'm 32. Yeah. I'm about to be 32.
So you're starting to catch the first wave.
Yeah, I was partially deaf for almost for 24 hours 2 days ago.
Just cause?
Well, I thought like I have eczema for the first time in my life. I've gotten eczema, which is not a thing that I used to have. Here you go for the camera.
That's a problem. Yeah.
And I thought because of that, and also because I'm like kind of sick and groggy, and my ear just like Like I was in the shower and I was like doing this when I always do to try to get the water out of my ear, and it like clogged my ear. And then I was like partially deaf. I was like, oh shit, I wonder if this is because I am
dying.
Because I thought I'm old, and I wonder if it's because I have allergies to my dog.
No, that's crazy. I had a similar experience. I have lost some hearing in this left ear.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think mine was COVID related.
Oh, mine was just like, it was clogged from earwax. I had swimmer's ear. Yeah, and they took it out. It was nasty as fuck, but it was awesome. Like I was listening in 4D. It was in HD, in 4K.
That's it. We're comfortable. Now we're comfortable.
Yeah.
But so going back to what I was saying, like I think the aesthetics throw people off, and so like it wasn't until to be fair, I hadn't watched hardly any of your content at that point in time. I had heard about you because, I mean, I don't know what's going on in the chat, but we have a lot of crossover. If I look at my YouTube analytics, you and like 3 other of your like
fan accounts
are like in my top, viewers also watch whatever. And so people were like, no, FD, you got to sound wrong. It's not debate, bro. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I actually am very much an anti-debate, bro.
Which I eventually caught on to. And I appreciate that. We also had, so secretly, me and Hasan have obviously, we've been best friends for like 2 years. As Hasan has coached me through getting better at not involving myself in bullshit, which I have failed on multiple occasions to do.
I know. It's hard. It's hard not to. I get it.
It doesn't make sense, but that's the flip side though, because I saw something you did a couple of weeks ago where you were like basically yelling at your chat like y'all make it impossible to get certain like guests,
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah, and so I think that's the thing. If I give the most credence to my people who are in my community or who I talk to and whose opinions I respect, I think that's the thing that becomes a flaw for both of us, but since you are much more prominent, is that the community you develop feeds off the energy you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like other people see that energy, and like every once in a while you act like a normal person. Somebody says something crazy to you, and you say, "Oh, fuck you," and your community's like, "Yo, it's fuck whoever this is for the next 48 hours."
And I try to make sure that we don't engage in. We don't engage in like that kind of insane behavior all the time. And I yell about that kind of behavior all the time. Like a big chunk of why I think a lot of like quote unquote leftists online on Twitter don't like me is because I spend a decent amount of time shitting on the left from the left by saying like, guys, put your best foot forward. Don't behave like this. And those moments are very clippable because a lot of people just want to sell their Substacks or their Ko-Fis or whatever coffee.
I don't even know what the hell this shit is.
Yeah, it's just like most people on Twitter. Like they always are trying to.
Is that like a monetization of?
Yeah, it's like a Substack
content.
No, they like write stuff or whatever, okay. Or their Patreons. So then then they will clip those moments and be like, look, he's like such a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. Like he fucking hates trans people or whatever, which is always hilarious when they say that. That's actually me doing housekeeping. Like I'm trying to make sure that the community that I've built for so long, that I've built together with the members of this community, it represents certain values and doesn't behave in a manner that I think is like not good.
And the flip side is it's impossible to do that at the size I can't even do that now. So I know you can't do it. And so it becomes
I still try.
No, you should still try. It reminds me, I had it in my head and I lost it as soon as you stopped talking. Or an example of something you did, like, so Umar Johnson came on Breakfast Club like 6 months ago, and as soon as Umar pops up, everybody white has content about him. You know that I just mentioned Umar Johnson for real like the first time like a month ago.
I call him Dr. Umar, but maybe it's because I respect him a little bit more than you do. It's weird.
Well, his PhD was in question for a long time, but
not by me because I trust him.
You're doing good. You're doing good. This nums. Good job there. But for real though, I remember watching your version of a reaction to that video and several other versions. And once you got past the memeing, right, I was like, oh, this is a good take. And so it was funny because, and if you don't get past the memeing, which is necessary because you're talking about Umar Johnson,
yeah,
you don't get that take. But that's kind of like the weird space that I'm not gonna just say I'm in, but like it's developing around me, the air quotes cornbread tube.
Yes,
We all are making content explicitly about like black shit, but also within a, like, one of the criticisms I get a lot is my audience is predominantly white, which I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's 50-50 at this point. It depends on which video I just dropped, right? Like the video I dropped before this past one, like I changed the thumbnail explicitly to cater to a black audience and they came for the video. But like, if you are black and you're doing anything in the public sphere at a certain level, if you're successful, your audience is predominantly black. I mean, predominantly white.
Yeah,
unless you're Tyler Perry.
Yeah, exactly.
You know and so it becomes impossible to thread these needles on a regular basis. And so I think the thing that, if I had to say, if I have to, so I don't get punched by a handful of people, the thing that I know a lot of black leftists making content want is to be in the seat I'm in. You know what I'm saying? It's to share, not just like, obviously not everybody's coming to Cali, coming to the crib, but like to be put on in the zeitgeist, because it's impossible to get here. I got here out of luck and a handful of black films. Shout out to which camera are we on?
That's the one. The other ones are for the podcast.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Khadijah and Bo. Shout out to T Noir. Shout out to we can get my shout outs real quick while we
go ahead. Also get a little bit closer to the microphone, because like everyone is saying that you're not
left this audio. I mean, I'm known for that. I'm not known for my technical expertise.
His noise gate is off, chat. There's not much more I can do.
I'm gonna come closer. I'm not used to right up on it. Shout out to BP, who wanted me to mention that he did the thing. He put you on the cover of a video, right? The video itself actually is relatively praising of you. He has a good critique of the online left as a whole, in that there's too much effort being put into, what's the word I want to use? He would say there's too much effort being put into what he would call purity testing. I'm not going to use that phrase so as to not get punched, but I get his overall point, which is the thing that has always bothered me since I've been here. I've only been here a couple of years, right? The thing that bothers me about the online left is how reactionary the non-reactionary people are. Like people say, "Oh, Hasan's reactionary," right? And they can clip you and have your moments, of course. But like then like on Twitter, the wrong moment, the wrong tweet, or just a question from, like, I've seen people in my subtweets say, "Hey, what does this mean?" And it's like open season. And like, to me, that's reactionary. You know what I'm saying? And so like to kind of pull, have you read or heard of Elite Capture? Olufemi Taiwo?
I think, that's actually one of the books that Lowell Overruled brought over when I had him on for me to read.
Yeah, I would read it. Now there's, criticism to be made, but he makes a big point about how the nature of identity politics has created like this fertile ground for just bullshitting on Twitter, essentially. But it's not just Twitter. It also happens in academia, and it happens in like political spaces. And so this ramble is all getting back to the point that the only way to like avoid certain criticisms is to not say shit, or to not care as much about how that take wasn't 100% on point, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm on the second side of that, where I'm just like, I definitely make an effort to clarify my positions, and it's usually through repetition. Like, if you're in here long enough, it's impossible for you to think that like I, have reactionary perspectives. But as far as like the way I'm perceived by a broader audience that actually doesn't watch me at all, I know it's not going to be good, because I have like dedicated fan bases that have gone on for many, many years, and actually have like made money off of clip chimping me and like making me look bad, and claiming that I don't believe the values that I actually present, that I actually advocate for. So no matter what happens, like I just have a massive base of haters that are always looking for any opportunity to shit on me. So I'm just like, yeah, people are just, I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. People are always going to fucking misunderstand what I'm saying. So I'm just going to have fun with it.
Yeah, and I'm getting to that point because and we talked about this when I way back at the drama video, right? Which and that's a perfect example because like I was so excited about the takes you had in the video, but then like literally the day after the video drop was the Wizarding game discourse. And and that was a perfect example of like, okay, on one end, I thought it was weird how you became the focal point of that, right? Even though I didn't agree with your overall like your goal there, because my thing is always I'm gonna like what are y'all what do these people that whose issue I don't have a direct connection to, what do they need me to do? That's what I'm gonna do. So there's that, but then there's also if that becomes like steak for content, that becomes rich for content.
Yeah.
And then it becomes this like never ending cycle of reaction videos to the take, which is taking away from the whole point of addressing the problem of the individuals affected by that game. I agree. What's the dog's name?
Kaya.
Right. And so I made a video where I kind of spelled this out and I was like, you know what, if I make this video, it's going to become FD versus Hasan, and it's going to get away from the trans folks in my community expressing their issues with J.K. Rowling and transphobia, et cetera. And like, it's just this impossible balancing act of doing the things that one, for me, feed my children, right? That this is my job. But also, if we're serious about the politics, our role is almost explicitly for manufacturing the attention economy to be going towards the things that we care about and that require that attention.
Yeah, that's why I try to weaponize that all the time, like, and try to make a valuable lesson out of like controversies, even controversies surrounding myself. I've moved away from doing it for controversies surrounding myself because I recognize that like anytime I pay any attention to it, that it further emboldens a base of not necessarily and it's never constructive criticism. It's always disingenuous. Yeah. So I have moved away from that entirely. But anytime there is like some real drama or anything like that happening, I try to not leave it at just like, here's my take on this, but this is why it matters. This is why I'm talking about it, and try to like tag it along with like some structural analysis.
Yeah. So my question, which goes back to the conversation we had a minute ago, how do you do this? Like, aside from being insane, which you told me before. Yeah. But like, oh shit, Bernie Sanders just scared the fuck out of me. Yeah. Sorry.
That's how I do it. He's just watching me all day.
I mean, I guess, no meetings Bernie makes sense. But like, explicitly though, like, a better question I think I was thinking about on the way here is, how long, can I get one of these? These waters, you got any ones?
Hold on, I'll grab you a water. Do you want anything else? I have a lot of sodas.
No, just water.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm trying.
It's all diet sodas.
That's even worse.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I mean,
we're just gonna do the water. Here. A little bit. Okay,
hold on.
All right, let me get nosy. Yeah, I'm rocking. I'm in LA. Hasan, LA is kind of trash. Is this LA is kind of trash, Hasan. I'm a little Do I need to leave now? Is this it? Is this bridge burn? Oh, but I do want to talk about. I can't wait till you come back. I do want to talk about something, and it's a transition. It's something I really wanted to speak on when you get back. Yeah, but I decided I was gonna try to rep Los Angeles a little bit. So I wore System of a Down shirt. Indeed, appreciate it.
Sit, stay, wait. Okay, go. Good girl. Hold on. Let me get in here. It's a little, even with as big as the space I have, it still gets cramped sometimes.
It's so wild. I had one video go viral. I got on Twitter after that because I said, I guess this is what I'm supposed to excuse me, what I'm supposed to do now. The first thing I ever heard about you was this house. And after hearing about it for the last 3-4 years and coming to it, and this is no shade, this is a normal ass fucking house.
That's what everybody says. Every time people come to my house, it's literally the exact same response.
Like, I was trying to buy a house early this year. It didn't go through. But, like, I don't want people to have seen the house I was about to buy, which is cost less because it's in Georgia, right? So,
yeah,
like, money is relative according to space. But, like, this is a normal ass. Like, going back to the anti-fandom shit. This is just like I have uncles.
You will never be able to describe it to people though. They literally in their minds have like turned it into. In their minds, they've turned it into like a mega mansion, like a chateau with a fucking moat. Like, it's a nice house. It's a really nice house.
It's a nice house,
and it's in a nice neighborhood, which is why it's so expensive. It's not. You're right. It's not in a nice neighborhood, but it's in a neighborhood that is expensive, for sure.
What did I just do? I just fucked that up.
No, I
alarms
that turned on its own. One of the TikToks that scared me.
Yeah, you may be on the list after we talk. Just keeping it 100 with you if you aren't already.
Oh, I'm on some lists, I think. Yeah. You flew this man out to gaslit us into shutting about your mansion. Fuck you, fake commie. Yeah, see, like these are so. That's actually a great take because that's a joke from a 18-month subscriber.
Okay.
And I think originally that's how it started. It started as like jokes inside of this community because we meme a lot, right? It happens. I mean, I'm live like 10 hours a day. But basically it devolved into like my haters taking it seriously. Like Hasan doesn't pay his editors. Hasan lives in a mega mansion. And at first we were like just joking about it. And then people literally took it seriously and decided like, oh no, that's actually real. And then half of it was like people who knew that it wasn't real but didn't care because it was like, oh, we get to shit on the e-celeb that I fucking despise for one reason or the other. And then the other half was like onlookers who are well-intentioned, who don't really understand it, and they just like kind of see shit out of context or see other people shitting on me and go, oh yeah, I guess he's a bad guy.
Yeah, it's a... and this is not to like this, I didn't come on to absolve you as the
no, I mean you don't have to. I
uncle, but like it is a weird, like the one thing that I've kept in mind as we've talked is like the otherworldliness of the space we occupy as fake celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like we have no real resources or access to like the protective elements of celebrity.
Yeah,
we are,
and we also aren't like removed. Like we're not multiple layers removed from our audiences or like the average person in the way that like an actual celebrity is.
Yeah,
like the irony is like because of the nature of the content that we create, it's constant communication and constant feedback, which makes you very accessible. And just like you mentioned, the Hogwarts drama is a perfect example of this. Like, because I'm the most accessible person, you can't fucking tell J.K. Rowling to kill herself because she's not going to do it. She's a billionaire. And she only gets on Twitter to just be like transphobic.
Yeah.
But you can get mad at me. You can't get mad at like the transphobic state legislatures all around the country. You can't do anything about it, understandably, because like they're not even operating on any sort of like interest to win elections. Even it's like, who are they doing half of these? Who are they pushing half this legislation for? Like nobody fucking fully understands it. But me, on the other hand, I am an incredibly accessible, easy to attack target that will give you the feeling of solidarity and the feeling of like other people coming on to join your crusade. So it feels productive.
The celebrity works. It works against us in that regard. But here's the other thing though, and to be honest, like you also have to have a responsibility with the platform, right? And it's something I just fully started learning, a couple of months ago. I won't say the person's name, right? But I did a video about another creator's shitty video, and I didn't think to myself, and like I was like, I really want this take to be out there, so I left the video out. And it didn't occur to me that even if my fan base wasn't about to go like dog pile that person, I put the green light on that person as ripe for critique. And so next thing you know, there's like 5 different critique videos about this individual, and everything's getting blamed on me. I'm like, I didn't do half of this shit, but I was like, oh, but I kind of started the shit. And so like you lose control of your actual like voice. Like as soon as you say, I think about like, you know, Spider-Man, the night he becomes Spider-Man, and then he opens the door the next day and he rips it off the hinges. Like that's kind of the area we're in. And so what you have to learn is, right,
with great power comes great responsibility.
Great power comes responsibility. Fuck, I'm going to get drugged for this appearance. Because that uncle shit is not going to die after this. But no, but for real though, you have to like you, Hasan, as long, you know, you have to say, all right, this person just says something out of pocket. These people said something out of pocket, or this topic, this area is, I got a strong take on this. Then you got to go through like 7 filters about like, not so much filtering out like what is the right thing to say for the perfect, like non-offensive, whatever. But for as the chat goes down, which one of these motherfuckers is going to do the dumb shit? Is it you?
Well,
Bean Finder?
Sometimes there's people in here that are like hate watching. There's a lot of people that are hate watching that will literally act like they're your fans and go and do crusades on behalf of you in an effort to try to get you to try to get other people to hate you. So like the mania only gets worse. It's not like you know, anything you can imagine that like some psychopathic individual would do, people do regularly.
I can't imagine your idea.
Yeah, I mean, at that point,
my shit's so wild. But
yeah,
like,
at that point, it's just like, you know, I've just grown accustomed to it. You know what I mean? And I think ultimately the real reason why no matter what happens, I don't give a shit, is because Kaya's not eating the shelf, guys. She's eating a thing that I put there. It's a frozen treat for her. That's what she's licking. No matter what happens, the reason why I let it kind of like brush past me is because when I started this at the Young Turks, one, I was working under someone, so I had like no control over my life, no control over my content, no control over my IP. But I also only got negative feedback because TYT was already well hated, like 2014, 2015 Gamergate era. And I saw the entire space is occupied by neck-bearded fucking losers who were reactionary as fuck. And I never really thought I would get to this level of success that I got to. I never thought that I would see massive content creators openly, you know, advocating for progressive policies and whatnot. Most of the time, progressive content creators, I think, in the early age of the, you know, Gamergate era,
they were getting murdered out here.
They were not openly talking about their politics. Even if they were progressive in their personal lives, they kind of just like didn't really say anything. A lot of big progressive content creators still don't actually get into politics all too much regardless. But the environment was certainly almost entirely hostile with very little counter to that. And then like BreadTube came around, and you know, all of these communities started growing online as a counter to all of that movement. So now having someone like myself be one of the largest Twitch streamers on the planet who exclusively talks about politics from a like straight up as leftist as you can get perspective,
right?
I never take it for granted. I always have that to fall back on, where I think to myself like, well, I do have a massive community no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so like that's interesting. So as I'm sitting here, I'm trying to pay attention to the chat, but like literally I cannot process.
No, it's better that you don't. Trust me. It's literally better that you don't, because.
But this is like the Force or some shit. This is a powerful thing to have access to, even as it sometimes seeks to destroy you. Because I think about like a Cat Black, who was like making content at that time, who was getting murdered even as BreadTube was growing. It wasn't like growing around her. And I don't remember the sister's name. She did like, you remember these old videos like white people be like, She was a dark skinned sister. She had like at the time she had a big like curly afro. I can't remember her name. But like for them, like they're out of here. You know what I mean? Because of that same thing you're talking about. And so like
Francesca Ramsey.
Thank you. Francesca Lay. She's still making. She just popped back up on TikTok. And that's her. And when iDubbbz said his bullshit. Oh, let me phrase it. When iDubbbz said his apology and other people were like, iDubbbz don't apologize, she made a point to talk about how, like, y'all don't understand what their standpoint was like at the time. I don't know if she's so 4 years.
Yeah, that space was so awful. Like, I mean, I was in, and obviously, like, I'm not,
I wasn't even there. Like I was.
Yeah, I mean,
was still watching. Nostalgia Critic.
a lot of people had a personal journey as like they also got sucked into that space and then they escaped it or moved on from it or demonstrated personal growth. But back then, I definitely was in the fucking crosshairs of that shit. I mean, I'll give you an example right here. Let's look up the Young Turks, Jordan Peterson. Hassan Piker transphobic, right? Because look, I mean here, I made a video sarcastically titled "Jordan Peterson is not a conservative transphobe," and this video came out 4 years ago. Well, even more than that. But yeah, okay, it was almost 5 years ago, December 30th, 2018. I wrote this video and I made this video. It has 2.9 thousand likes, 146,000 views. I can't see the dislikes now, but I'm pretty sure that the dislikes greatly outnumber.
RIP to the dislike button.
Yeah.
Fuck the dislike.
And,
real fuck the dislike button.
Yeah. See, someone, Fizz in the chat says 6.1K dislikes. If we look at it, if we look at the comments, and these are 1 month ago, obviously, which is why they're going to be greatly different. But if you look at the fucking top comments, okay, from... I love to see the intellectuals come out in the TYT comment section. I said 4 years ago. It's amazing how mischaracterized this man gets. Whatever you think about him, he said repeatedly when asked, he'll use the pronoun he, she. Like, back then, it was very obvious that he was transphobic, but people just refused to recognize that he was, and people were going fucking crazy over it. Like, they anytime anyone said anything like this, they would get absolutely ripped up to shreds. Yeah. And... the reason why I'm showing this is not to be like, look how fucking right I was even 5 years ago.
It is funny to see how Peterson has completely validated every unfair attack that the left has made about him in the last like year, and all his fans just went quiet. Like nobody's came forward and been like,
yeah. but even then, this is 5 years ago, and he was still like, you know, this is him.
He's a ridiculous person.
This is him at like a Turning Point USA conference. You know what I mean? Where he was like a keynote speaker, and people were still refusing to recognize that. And it just like, it sucked because back then everyone was always like, oh, you're a piece of shit. You're a soy libtard. You're attacking this like profoundly beautiful centrist mind who only has the best intentions and like wants what's best for society. He's an intellectual. Who the fuck are you? And then I didn't have a base of support, but now I do. Yeah. Some of which who used to be fans of Jordan Peterson. So that's what keeps me going. That and also the top of the hour ad breaks, which I forgot to run. If you no longer want to see those ads, you can subscribe for $5 or free with Twitch Prime or by getting gifted sub. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Okay, let's continue.
Cool. Do we keep talking?
Yeah. Oh, no, because most people are subscribers anyway, so they don't really, you know.
So I want to spin back to LA being trash, except for one thing that is going to segue into something I really want to talk about.
This sucks because you're only seeing the worst. Like, LA is only good when the weather is good.
Where the fuck is the sun, though?
Yeah, LA is only good when the weather's good, and LA's weather's been shit this year. Like, insane. It's like Seattle.
Yeah, I left the South, right? And we got on the plane, a 4-hour ride with a 7 and a 10-year-old, and we made it. And we wake up the next morning, and I'm like, why hasn't the sun gotten here? This is. I came here.
I have a gift for your kids, by the way. I don't know if you'll appreciate it or take them.
As long as it's not some of this nicotine gum. We don't have to talk about this.
No, it's it might be worse. I don't know what your perspective is, but it's Mr. Beast.
Oh God.
He always we're managed by the same management company, and they always send me like his new shit. So I have like boxes of Nerf guns, Mr. Beast branded Nerf guns, and boxes of Feastables chocolate.
I'm going to drag you as soon as I leave for doing this to me.
I'm just saying. Well, now that it's on camera, now that they know that I offered it, you will be the bad guy.
I'm not allowing them to watch it. I have not allowed them to watch anything I do, partially because I have a weird thing with like YouTube with my kids because of like let me not throw too much shade at Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast is also like Nebula Gang to an extent, but you know Mr. Beast critiques at all, right? But hold on, I want to say this thing about LA. Yo, I've seen one police car since I've gotten here.
Yeah, well, depends on what neighborhoods you're in. That's why. But
so it still blows my fucking mind because I'm in.
You will not get a ticket. You will not get a moving violation. You'll get a parking ticket 100%, but it is relatively hard to get a like speeding ticket in the fucking greater Los Angeles area.
I didn't see police in San Diego. Excuse me. Now, like, but no, I'm saying this because like I frequent the nicer areas of Atlanta. And I did not like. It really like hit me hard last night when I heard a police siren, and I tapped my wife, and I was like, "Yo, have we heard police at all since we?"
Well, it's also crime is legal.
What? Explain what's going on because
we made crime legal here, so we voted.
For LA, I mean, surely we could do that in Georgia.
Yeah,
but no, like what? How is that? Because we got the Cop City shit happening in Atlanta.
Yeah,
they just raided an anarchist organization and charged with all kinds of wild shit. They've got terrorism charges on like 30 people now.
Yeah, they're really weaponizing the RICO charges down there for like suspiciously only black adjacent causes.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation.
Where's the Fannie Willis RICO charge on Donald Trump? When is that coming?
Oh, we're gonna get back to Hogs. Actually, I'm gonna get back to Hogs, but I gotta speak to this though. I literally can't leave my house in Atlanta. I live in a middle class gentrifying neighborhood, right? So like there's an excuse for police to be around because white gentrifiers call the cops all the time on random black people. But if I go to almost any neighborhood in Atlanta on the north side, which is where there's less crime, generally speaking, when there's less people of color, generally speaking, there's still a million police. And it was normal to me to like see 5 or 6 police officers going anywhere in Atlanta to see 5 or 6 patrol cars at any given ride. And when it hit me that was normal to me when I got here, I almost got sad because I was like, yo, I have acquiesced to the police being an ever-present. Like when we talk about, I don't know who I was talking to Skip Intro about propaganda in Spider-Man. And, the argument that the right will use about police is that if you flood an area with police, crime goes down, which is only true through like the most tenuous reach of an argument, in that if I'm standing next to my son, he might not pick his nose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, from an authoritative standpoint, it air quotes works. But you get like the way my son's, like my 10-year-old acts around police is it would break your heart because he knows what the police mean in general, but especially in Atlanta. And so like the fact that was a normal reflexive like energy in me, that the police are just always around, so stay on code as much as possible. And to get here and I hear one siren in 72 hours, it was like, holy shit. I will trade y'all.
You got used to a police state is what you're saying.
Basically. Yeah. And how it happens, and that's the crazy thing about like the Cop City shit. There's still 40% of the people are still voting yay on Cop City. They don't understand what it could be, is the thing that breaks my heart. They don't have a clue that you don't have to have police on every corner to feel safe and we still don't feel safe, and there's still crime all over Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's almost like it's completely unmarried to police presence and has a lot more to do with socioeconomic conditions. But, you know, what do I know? It's not like Los Angeles is like wealthier overall either. It's just that there's still plenty of proximity to wealth from those who don't have it, which is usually and crime manifests as a consequence of your material conditions, obviously.
Right.
So that is usually what crime in the way that we understand it occurs. But like I said, I think the reason why you don't see a lot of cops around in Los Angeles in comparison to other places, which you're right, I do take that for granted, I do forget, is maybe it's because it's like more spread out too than other places. Because LA is so vast.
Possibly, but it's still. I don't know. I'd have to. I'm gonna legit do some. This it sparked a video idea, so I'm gonna do some research and figure it out because like we got off we rode through I guess like South LA on the way here, and then like we got off because we had to do a bathroom break on Alvarado. I don't know. Probably a place it's a place looking around. It's probably a place you wouldn't go pretty often. But like even still, it doesn't feel like even like median income neighborhoods in Atlanta. It doesn't feel like the places where Young Slime Life supposedly like it's so funny. Like people talk about YSL and them getting the RICO charge for what they've been doing off Cleveland Avenue. I don't live too far from Cleveland Avenue. I like a lot of people I know. There's Chick-fil-A's and like night. Like it's not the way that Atlanta is.
It's not the way DJ Academics presents it.
Oh my fucking God! I'm not gonna drag DJ.
Wait, that's he said he's a fan of mine and Tim Pool. So
yeah, clearly. Yeah, no, like Cleveland Avenue. Like there's literally like if this street is Cleveland Avenue, right? If your desk this long as that's Cleveland Avenue, from here to here is where YSL was probably doing most of their dirt, like this one section. And if you keep going this way, you hit other neighborhoods with completely different lifestyles and energies, and same thing going this way, right? If you take the $90 million they're doing for Cop City and you put that money into this area, you transform this area within a decade, you completely transform it. Or, Coca-Cola, Nike, Lockheed Martin, Chick-fil-A, goddamn whomever can build a police training facility that's going to just be kind of like a boondoggle for them to get food contracts, bring in the Israeli police force, bring in New York, bring in y'all.
That's what they need. The American police force is not ruthless enough. They need a refresher course on
of course
on how to kill 14-year-olds from a distance.
Last shout out, and then we can do I'm gonna do some hog watch. I've never done the actual reaction shit. Mm-hmm. Shout out to let me make sure I get this right. So I did a stream a couple of weeks ago.
There's numbers on this, by the way. Apparently, police employment officers per capita rates for U.S. cities. What is this? Governing calculations. New York has 42.3 per 10K population. Los Angeles has 24. Chicago has 44 almost.
I wonder where's Atlanta?
Let's see.
35.
Where did I skip it?
Keep going. Down.
Oh, right there, 35. Yeah. So yeah, it's measurably and demonstrably larger police presence.
Yeah, and you feel it, or you don't feel it. You go fucking numb to it, which is like genuinely, I'm getting upset because I'm thinking about like would you say New York was what 43?
Yeah, I mean New York, you immediately see it.
So we're 7%.
Chicago is like this. Actually, I've never been to Chicago.
I'm from Chicago.
Oh, okay. So I've never been to Chicago, but like that is unsurprising.
So that makes sense, but it's all in one spot. Atlanta is maybe an eighth the size of Chicago, maybe 1/16 the size of New York, and like and literally nobody lives in the city. It's just the metro area, So it's just my fucking God.
Yeah,
yeah. Not like send that. Well, I'm gonna get this from you because I'm gonna come back to this because it's so, and we still have, and Atlanta's a.
These are old too. This is from 2014.
Atlanta's is the black Mecca. All the shit I'm talking about, we haven't had a white mayor since the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
We have probably more black millionaires and business owners and academics, whatever, per capita than any other city in the country, if not world. We have everything you're supposed to have, going back to this identity politics conversation. We have everything you're supposed to have to ensure that that type of shit does not happen. But what Atlanta does have is a lot of fucking corporate power. Everybody's got a headquarters there. Everybody cuts checks. Everybody has, and then we have a combination of corporate power. And if you go 30 miles outside of Atlanta, you're basically going 50 years back in time.
Yeah.
So like the greater political structure of the state wants what you just saw. And so like, in like when people, it's a weird, I'm trying to balance this shit, right? Because these are issues I've dealt with, but the politics I'm new to, because you have such a black bourgeoisie class in Atlanta, you feel like, it is what it is. We're doing good. We're getting money. Black excellence. Obama's in president, etc. You throw in a Morehouse mayor, a mayor from Morehouse College who just got booed a couple of months ago at his alma mater over Cop City shit. And this shit just kind of goes. It just goes because these politics going further left than the Democrats have not been allowed to exist on the main stage. And people get their nice house. And they say, all right, that's it. I got mine, you get yours. You know what I mean? Shout out to M. Marty, whomever that went to Clark. We gotta get it in there. We gotta get in there. Don't worry about that. Killer Mike. Oh my fucking God.
I was about to say, speaking of black bourgeoisie and their shifting perspective on black capitalism as an emancipatory factor, what do you think about Killer Mike? And I think that it kind of almost ties back to Clarence Thomas's perspective and how it's shifted over the years as his politics have become more flushed out.
What's scary about Killer Mike? So here's the thing. I don't know if you watched my last two videos. They're over 2.5 hours altogether.
No, I have not.
I've got some shorts in there. But no, so my last two videos were explicitly about the rant I just went on, which is like re-engaging black people as a whole with the politics of the left, which is something that we've always had, but we've been disabused of, for the last 60, 70 years. And so like Clarence Thomas is an early defector, right?
Yeah.
And so we weren't worrying about Clarence Thomas way back when the Anita, like I'll never forget like hearing about the Anita Hill shit and being confused that my mother wasn't supporting the black man on TV. Cause that was like, second nature, like black man on TV.
Yeah.
We in there. My mother's like, she didn't give me details. Obviously I was like 10 or some shit, but like, I'm like, okay. Right. But the thing is, a Killer Mike can come and speak that language and present that energy. He can name drop Kwame Ture and Frantz Fanon and Fred Hampton, and like name drop them. There's a video name drop them in support of capitalism.
Yeah,
and it's like, Mike, what the fuck? And like you've heard Mike, throw some centrist shit in there before. But he has very clearly been adopting not just a centrist, a right-wing ethos, not just being pro-capitalism, but like the political energy that he's been presenting. He supported.
I'm gonna take her out real quick, but while you still keep going.
That's fine. Well, while you out, I wanted to finish this shout out to. Come here, Kaya. So let me take over the Hasan stream for a second. Hasan, when's the last time a black person's been on your stream?
I don't know. I haven't had any guests on in a while, bro.
Okay. Stay. Well, so as I hold this space for a second. Yeah, I mean.
JPEG Mafia.
Okay.
Stay.
Emmy was supposed to come on, but she didn't make the trek out here, so it was only Law overruled on his own. I don't know if you've seen her stuff.
Yeah. Ole is part of the crew. Let me get this massager going again real quick. So they're short. All right, so real quick, shout out to on a completely unrelated note, I did a stream a couple of weeks ago, y'all. It is on my side channel, Signified B-Sides, and I had as a guest HasanAbi, who is a South Asian streamer. People call him the Indian Hassan, which is, I don't know how that works, to be honest with you. Either way, he brought to my attention that we talked about on stream the genocide in Sri Lanka that happened in our lifetime, like in 2009. And I told him I would mention that. Oops, shit. I told him I will make sure I mention that while I was here. So please, if you can, go check that out on my B-Sides channel. You can also follow him on Twitter. Ooh, shit. Because bringing it full circle, the whole point of the role of a me or Hasan, from my perspective, is the pulpit, which is literally like kind of what we're in right now, and bringing attention to shit that won't get attention from media outlets that are not interested in certain types of stories. Oh, okay. Somebody shout out to shit's moving too fast. Shout out to whoever just said subscribe to Arana now in the chat. The details on that story are not for the weak of heart, so please check that out. And he's just really trying to bring more attention to it, because that situation is such a dire situation that it's kind of just a start. While I'm here, while we still waiting, shout out to Turb, who just dropped a new video. Dropped 2 videos this week. He shouldn't do that, but yeah, get them shits in. Shout out to John Lewis, who dropped this week. Shout out to, who am I missing? Let me check my shit. Oh, watch my new shit. Which just dropped this Monday. Shout out to Black Power Media, who just interviewed Cornel West this morning. Who else? Oh, shout out to Think Peace Tribe, who just dropped some shit. Shout out to all my motherfuckers. I gotta make sure. I don't know how other folks do when they get here, but my chat don't be this live, and I don't know how to turn this off. Okay, good. So yeah, we got to make sure people get the numbers and they need. And I think that's it. I think oh no, we were talking about Killer Mike's ass.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make it. I don't know what to make of Mike. His story is kind of murky, because Mike's dad is a cop. I'm sure that's well known.
Yeah.
Mike went to Morehouse, but he dropped out, according to him, to sell drugs. Mike is clearly very intelligent, and Mike's been overtly an agitator. Like Mike was the first rapper, I think, to call out Obama, right? Which may not seem like a big deal now, but at the time was a huge deal. Yeah. No, he might have been after Lupe, but Lupe was already like, on the edge of like discourse at the time.
Yeah.
And so like you get those details, right? He's got a whole song called Reagan, you know what I mean, where he's breaking shit down. He's bringing political ethos to hip hop mainstream, kind of, which is like probably reason why he wasn't as mainstream, that hadn't been seen since like the mid 90s with Public Enemy and shit. And then, he starts running Jewels, he gets really popular, and he keeps that energy. Got fucking songs called Kill Your Masters.
Yeah.
And then, this is, I said that. Killer Mike 2013, Kill Your Masters, 2023, Pull Your Pants Up. And like, I don't know what happened. I think it's just money. That's the thing that scares me about.
You think so? It's not like he got more successful since then, though.
I think he had. I think Run the Jewel. Like, you don't understand. You may not understand how broke rappers are.
No, I do. I have rapper friends.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, another. 24K Golden was the last guest I had on.
No clue who that is.
He's not broke though.
Okay. He's hopefully not with a name like 24K Golden.
He's doing fine.
But yes, I can't really call it with Mike, because Mike earned credibility among a radical population of fandom for a reason, because he said the right shit. And then it started 2020 when, you know, I gave him a pass for like telling people to stop rioting because like, what are you supposed to do in front of like the police and the mayor on TV? You can't say, you know, burn the motherfucker to the ground, even if you're Killer Mike. Right?
Well, he also, this actually came, I know I had Trey on a month ago. It was with, Golden was on as well. Anyway, listen.
That was not meant to like be a debate.
Yeah, I know. Everyone is literally like, this is a very white community, as you already know. So immediately, especially a very white community that speaks on you know, police brutality or reparations, black emancipation all the time. Oftentimes the conversation devolves into like, name all of your black friends, and I hate that because it's like it's not a position that's going to make you look normal or good, which is what I try to instill upon people all the time. Which is just be normal, like be a normal person. Treat other people like they're normal humans and not like black first and then a human being.
But that's the problem with the online left. A big problem that's been cropping up recently as like, you know, cornbread soup has become a thing is like for, you know, because like going back to Cat Black, Francesca, et cetera, a lot of them were kind of like sidelined, right? Or niched. And then like black leftist YouTubers have been around since that time, but it's been almost predominantly dominated by black women for black women audiences and academic audiences. And so when I popped up and I purposely started to find other black men, you know, cis hetero.
Yeah, finally, we need some fucking men in here. You know what I mean? What is this? What is this? Yeah, hit it. That's what I'm talking about, dude.
But no, for real though, like bringing them in changed the energy. And then suddenly, if you are a debate guy that brings up white supremacists to debate them every 6 weeks, with 6 days to prove your anti-racism clout, and we say, no, you're kind of a clown, that creates like a conflict because blackness is it's a commerce in this space. Proving that you have black credibility with black people is a way, or credibility with anti-racism is a economic boon. And so like now it becomes like the running meme for me now is I am king of the blacks. So if I pop up in your video, then you're one of the good ones, which is not true. If one, there's no such thing as a good one. You're all bad in my mind. I just want to be very clear about this for the chat. But also I'm not the end all be all for those discussions. In fact, I'm mid compared to a lot of my peers who, you know, who haven't hired editors yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So be normal is no. I say it to say keep doing that because what we need more of, we need less white pundits talking about black issues without black people present, and more white pundits talking explicitly to white people about white shit and like doing white shit better. We don't need fuck white people. We don't need that. That's still as much as I would like to say that. And as much as I say that when the cameras aren't on me, that is still reactionary. We more so need like,
yeah, this is you're actually basically addressing something that I say all the time, but I usually talk about this to the trans community whenever I'm having this discussion. When I talk about transphobia, I'm not talking to trans people. This is something I've said so many times. Like, you're trans. You already know how fucking dog shit it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking to transphobic people who could potentially change their minds. And the same goes for every issue I speak of. When I speak on black issues, I'm not speaking to black people, even though because of the predominantly white-centric, white supremacist public education structure in America, there might be black chatters that learn new things when they come in here about black history in general, because there's always people who are like,
this shit is not allowed.
Like the move bombing is a great example of this. Like, anytime I bring it up, there's like, what the fuck, I'm black. I had no idea that was a real thing that happened in America in, like, you know, not that long ago. But yeah, when I speak on black issues, it's not to black people, it's to white people. It's so that, you know, white people understand from a, I guess, like, you know, if you have any kind of preconceived notions or biases, when you hear a white person say these things, it's it's more impactful.
It's why I do, like, when I dabble in my manosphere shit, it's never for women in the audience, and it also means I speak a specific cadence of language. But I also, as much as possible, have black women in the video or in the conversation to fill in those gaps. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like, it's two discourses. There's the ideas, right, which is solid, and then there's the economy. And so, like, going back to like the white left, liberals and leftists have been arguing with other white liberals and leftists about black people and trans people for like clout points and content for at least 6-7 years. And it's like, I'm like, the whole reason why I think we've made a ripple is it's like, oh, there's actually black people having these conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, at first I was really excited, but then I got frustrated about that, because it was like, all right, listen, y'all, I'm not going to be teaching white people about racism with every other video. Y'all get like one video every 3 to 6 months. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Y'all not getting any more of these. I'm talking about Black Panther, both the movie and the actual movement, until further notice. I was supposed to do a white rapper video this time last year, and it's now a running meme in my community that is never happened. White rapper video this year.
There's always new one, like Lil Mabu or whatever. You see that?
Is that the one that was
the drill rapper who's like super rich? I think he's like a hedge fund kid who like graduated from a fucking private school recently.
Yeah, I saw that.
I follow all that stuff. It's
please do.
I love white rappers.
And you do the little Mabu takedown. That is for Hasan to do. The little Mabu takedown. If I talk about little Mabu, smack the shit out of me. Even when I do my white rapper video, which is definitely happening this year.
Yeah, here. Well, now you're gonna have to see it.
Oh, it is this motherfucker. And he looks like an anime villain.
Get it? Because blue and red equals purple. So I blew her back out and I left her on red. Don't let that go over your head. She like Babu. I like.
It's just like, apparently his dad owns a record label or something. So he's like, is he hanging out with Lil Durk? Jesus Christ.
I was that bad on my dick, they ain't pay attention. Man, I fell down to my knees when the law came. Man, I fell down to my knees when the law came.
Oh, fuck. Oh, let me not say shit. It's no.
I didn't mean to do this. I didn't even know this existed. I'm sorry. I did not know that this existed.
So, and the top line is bro 18 casually friends with Dirk. No, he is fucking not. Bro rich, cut a check.
100%.
That is what happens there. And this has happened forever. And this is like, we could talk forever about this, but I don't want to drop too much of this.
There is one word you can't say.
I can't say the N word.
No, you can't.
I can't say the C word.
Yeah,
that is.
I just, this is broaching territory where that might be deployed. I'm just saying.
Right.
So you can't say that. I will get banned.
Word. We have developed within the black community a list of slurs.
I have a pass. I don't know where it is, but
you who the fuck gave you a pass?
Nabisco, as a matter of fact, wheat thins.
Who was? They gave you a C word pass. What? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was
not an N word.
Okay,
pass.
I'm like, we don't do that. That is a myth.
No, that's not.
Anybody that is giving you an N word, white people in the chat, there's no such thing as an N word pass.
Yeah, Nabisco.
Nobody is coming to the cookout. The cookout is shut down until socialism.
Nabisco gave me the N word pass.
Oh my fucking God.
No, I wonder where it is. No, that's
hilarious though. That's how to do the shit.
That's how silly that was. That like a multinational, like a major corporation felt comfortable making a joke about it, and there's still motherfuckers online who are like, Hasan was the most racist man in the 19th century.
What the only real racism, the racism that truly matters in America right now, is the racism against white people.
We're in agreement.
Been responsible for in the last couple of weeks.
Me too. I'm doing my very best.
My anti-miscegenation era, according to Twitter.
Oh no. Well, see, this is like, I don't even. Oh God.
I'm not gonna get into it because that was the last straw for me. I've tweeted maybe twice since then. I let my wife take over Twitter after that.
Oh
shit
no!
I was
don't.
like, you know what? I'm gonna keep. I cannot take like dealing with these people, and I can't stop myself from engaging. So I need to take the tools out of my hands because I'm never gonna make another video about the shit. Right? I have too many other good ideas, but I will keep tweeting if people keep talking crazy to me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I got to get it out of my hands because
you did the thing. You got in the discourse again, though.
Yeah,
You got involved in the discourse. You didn't just like let it fly and then just go, all right, not addressing it.
Yeah.
Which is really hard. It's really hard.
It's damn near impossible because, and I'm like no shade, I'm too old for this shit.
I feel that way too.
And people and I'm like, you said it in the fucking video, or you said it in real life. I felt so stupid because it was the realest shit anybody said to me. It was like, I put a record scratch there in the moment.
Yeah.
You were like, I said, I try to explain to my wife why insert debate pervert here is getting on my nerves. And she's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you cut me off and said, hey, your wife is right. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you right. Why did I need Hasan to tell me that shit?
I mean, well, I do have a lot of experience with that. To be fair,
true.
I have many years of experience on that front.
Right.
Where like I have a barometer for that where I'm like, could I explain this to like a normal relative of mine that is like out of touch with online culture?
Right.
And if the answer is like abso-fucking-lutely not, then I try to very aggressively move away from it, even though I'm the most stubborn motherfucker. And I have to like, I have to come back and keep fighting it for no reason.
Yeah. That's what it was. A bunch of white people explaining to me racism against black people and or interracial couples. And like, it was the most bizarre. And I was like, all right, let me just pull out some data and like, here's a video and like just send. And it was like, oh, nope, that was stupid. And now I'm done with Twitter forever. So no more tweets to me. I'm still lurking, of course, but like,
Donald Glover's coming for you.
Donald Glover's mad at me.
Wait, is he? I
don't know. So I'm starting to make I made my first Hollywood friend, my first real friend outside of YouTube. No, you're my first white friend. And so I'm like, okay, because I was supposed to do an anti-insert person's name here, I'm not gonna say, video when I hit 500K, and then when I got to like 300K, I started thinking about, well, if I ever want to do anything in entertainment outside of YouTube, I maybe shouldn't talk shit about people that I'm gonna like need to contract me for writing or some shit. So like I'm working on redeveloping. I'm chilling the fuck out. So we're gonna.
It's always good.
Always smart.
You also have to remember, like, you have an audience of very different people, and like, do you really want to introduce this person to your audience? You know what I mean?
And that's why I fucked up.
That's how I think about it, which is why I always like, I don't engage in fights when I know that like someone is very clearly rage farming.
Yeah.
And they're doing it deliberately, and there's so many examples of this because I did it for so long that I'm just like, yeah, no, it's not interesting. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna fucking take the bait. I'll only do it if it's worthwhile.
That's where I fucked up, and that's where, because I'm getting cocky because I started out, my first handful of videos go viral, and I'm just pure BreadTube. I'm BreadTube's new black guy, so all my fans are white, right? All of them, every single last one. And like, I didn't like that at all. Not just because of like, obviously being a black supremacist, but because an anti-white racist, but because it was like, they're going to, I feel tokenized, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm getting a lot of messages and emails and questions asking me about racism that I've been like, like 15 years ago, I may have answered that question for you. Right now, I'm just about to play mad. I'm not about to explain this to you again. Watch my video again or some shit like that, right? And then I started getting money. And then I really felt uncomfortable because now I'm in, are you familiar with the movie Bamboozled?
No.
Okay. Well, long story short, now I'm in a space where I know I am selling my blackness.
Yeah.
There's an element, what Lil Durk just did.
I didn't say it.
I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, he just offered his clout and street cred to Lil Mabu.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. And so like white people in America will pay for access to blackness in certain elements. And not all of it, just like a certain packaged, commodified version.
And it's not even always, in my opinion, it's not even always like ill-intentioned.
No, they're just fucking excited.
Yeah, they want to learn, they want to understand, and I think that's where it comes from too. I think the reason why I get criticized a lot about like, oh, he's too comfortable speaking on certain issues that he knows nothing about, is because I think that there is like a stereotype of like a person who speaks on social justice who definitely does say shit that's like completely out of pocket or has like legitimate disagreements that are born out of like implicit biases or or being socially developed into white supremacist fundamentals. So I think that's why like a lot of people go, oh, he's doing that. Mm-hmm. Whenever I like say something.
So there's that, but like again, is I made the joke about being like the first black person on the show, which I'm sure is not. But now that you've been christened okay by the king of the blacks, I need not be the last black leftist that not maybe comes to the house, but like, well, you've actually done a couple of think piece. Shout out Think Piece Tribe. You've actually reacted to his stuff a couple of times. But it's also dangerous because when you reacted to T1J's joint positively, the fans still ran through. But either way, as you do that more, one, it will be just generally good because I don't like. It is just not good to be such a prominent voice. I'm talking about myself. It's not good that I'm such a prominent black voice in this space right now. It's not good for me personally, just my like health and like the way I carry that type of responsibility. But also we need, Lil Bill. We need, Khadijah Mbow. We need Cat Black, like to kill two birds. You get to hash out issues about trans issues and black issues at the same time. We need. Shout out to Overthrow. Who wants to come up and converse with you, like that combined with what you already do is not just like gonna shield you, but it's also the best way to do it because now the take is refined by the explicit discourse of a person who's actually in the spot. Like I haven't made a video about, I'm probably gonna make my first overt trans issues video later this year. And I've already got like people I'm going to talk to for it. And the reason why I made a video about Dave Chappelle and I put several trans women in it, but I made that because I really want to talk about Dave Chappelle. Right. And so I was like, all right, we can do this and it's cool. But when I get to like an explicit trans women video, I could easily make 5 of those videos. They're all hit 500,000 views within a month. I'll make all the money and I'll be the greatest ally in the world because of how shitty the reality is for trans women. But if I do that without bringing Soul Buddy on to have a conversation, right, who's a small creator, or bringing like a Jesse Gender, and of course maybe I'll talk to a bigger trans creator, then I've kind of it's the fucked up part about this job is you're still in an attention economy, and so when I'm bringing attention to myself to address someone else's issues, I have to share some of that capital. That's personal capital. That's like, clout. I have to share that with those folks enough. Shit. At least me personally. The whole reason Cornbread Tube was a thing is I was like, y'all not about to give me all this fucking money to talk to these white people, and I'm not gonna put other niggas on. Like I can't not do the way I'm built, where I'm from. Maybe it's because I'm old and I don't get what I was supposed to do. But like other motherfuckers, and you've done that, right? Like
I mean, I try to, but it's oftentimes just usually it's laziness. Like if something is in within proximity, then like I'll definitely do it. But if it's not, if it's out of reach, like I don't really usually go out of my way in many circumstances. But then also the other is like I do have a lot of fucking freaks in here. Like there's a lot of
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, because I don't want like random smaller content creators to like get the ire of like one collaborating with me because like you're big enough that it doesn't really matter, and you have your own like base of haters as well. Some of it's shared, I suspect, but like if I'm bringing on like a random person, if I'm bringing on a random content creator, I worry that like they're gonna get fucking ripped apart. Like Nick is not green is what I was thinking of. He's pretty big on his own. He's pretty sizable on his own, right? Like, and the first time he ever got like straight up fucking eviscerated on Twitter was after he came onto this broadcast and we like reacted to funny TikToks, and like the most insane fandoms got together to be like, these two fucking pieces of shit, people that hate streamers, people that love, you know, J-pop and want to be idols themselves, and like even though they're Westoids, people that fucking Nazis, Groypers, lolly fans, like any and every community that I've had something to say about basically got together and were fucking destroying this dude. Now, he's also large enough that it's not the biggest issue, but I don't want to fucking put that on. And he's like, and he's, well, I guess Nick is
Nick white?
I don't think he's, I mean, he's like white passing, kind
of.
of. I don't know. I don't know what he is, but I don't give a shit. But regardless, he's like, he's.
Sorry.
No, I just like legitimately don't know. I think he's Filipino, maybe. He might be like half Filipino. But yeah, he's spicy white. So but regardless, like he also didn't have like open avenues of attack, like being black, for example, or being trans, or being a woman, or you being lesbian, gay, ace, that sort of thing. So it was like,
that's one thing I'm scared of with this. Like I popped up with Jessie Gender on a stream, and it was on her stream, thankfully, so it wasn't that bad. But like every time I post a trans creator in my community tab, it gets the level of toxicity goes up like tenfold. So I get that point, and it's kind of like,
so that's the double-edged sword, and that's part of the reason why I don't do it. But I won't lie, like it's mostly racism.
Shout out to Sean the Black. Okay, hey.
Yeah. Well, Sean the Black is like an OG HasanAbi head.
A word?
Yeah,
Sean the Black
he's a 30-month subscriber of mine.
He's also made hour-long video essays.
Yeah, I know. I tell him not to do it as well.
You keep doing it, Sean. You're good at it, but also probably more stream actually, because. You know, that way. So Sean the Black, I'm coming on yours next. I got to go to Sean the Black. And,
yeah, he's great.
Oh man, other brother, whose name I can't remember. All right, we've done enough. Let's laugh at some Republicans. I've done enough serious stuff. My kids are in the pool. Actually, let me check on that shit real quick. What time did I get here?
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely been an hour though, because at the top of the hour there's another 3-minute ad break, and I remember running it last time you were here. That's how I keep track of time. So it's definitely been an hour plus, maybe like an hour and a half, as a matter of fact.
Okay, let's. I'm doing good. I got the massager.
Hey, thank you, Physics, for the 10 gifted, and Blast Save for the 5 gifted. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. What was I gonna show you? So,
and that's one thing. Actually, I'm gonna get away from it.
No. Go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
I do love.
We can talk shop. It's fine. We don't have to look at Hogwatch at all, because I kind of wanted to look at the Andrew Tate stuff too. But afterwards,
indeed.
This is why the see, look, like immediately trying to fucking trying to start shit.
This is my, when I said there's an overabundance of
depictions of black-white relationships in media, because it allows for corporations to virtue signal wokeness, white liberal consumers, by presenting a veneer of progressivism. It is an extension of rainbow capitalism,
and surely that means I am a anti-miscegenation, because
that's fucked up.
Because, you know,
listen, I've been saying I'm a supporter of Dr. Umar, so I don't know.
Shout out to Dr. Umar. It's fucked up, like, because Dr. Umar is. I will give him this. His take on Spider-Man made me fearful of how they were going to handle the interracial relationship in that movie, because the way I made this argument.
What did he say on Spider-Man?
Just because he don't want the snow bunnies. You know, it's Dr. Umar. Exactly what you think he said.
I'm just saying.
Right.
I saw how he was behaving at that New Jersey mall on that fateful afternoon.
When he held the one white woman's hand. Right. So like interracial relationships.
I stay away from temptation.
I mean, temptation stays away from me, thankfully. Basically, they just always do interracial relationships. Like, imagine if every, I don't know, imagine if every marginalized community here's representation was the only version of it was the most palatable version for white liberals.
Yeah,
that's what interracial relationships are in the media. And I have some of my best friends are interracial relationships, right? Yeah. So like,
I mean, it still spells some level of progress that's I guess that's happening, but it obviously but we've moved beyond it,
right? And so the depiction of their relationship was actually, I think, an excellent version because it showed, even though without actually explicitly being about a black and white dichotomy, it showed, one, why they were connected, and two, why there's conflict happens in some interracial relationships where a white person doesn't understand the nature of existing in a black body in America. So in Spider-Man's case, it was being the anomaly of spoilers, Spider-Man spoilers. In Miles's case, it was being the anomaly of Spider-Man. And so,
isn't it also written by a white dude?
It's at least one. The way that movie worked. No.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the original Miles Morales. I think
the original. I have never read too much of that, but I have heard enough that the actual comic of Miles Morales is not nearly as radically inclined as the movie was. The movie at Disney, Hollywood wokeness, of course, but like I think there's a line
written by a white dude with black children. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, he might. Okay,
that's cool. I mean, like, I would hope that he would want that, but he also said a phrase in the comic like, "I don't want to be known as Black Spider-Man," which is kind of a red flag when you kind of like I get the context of wanting to bring the Mr. B.
They saw it? You're so cooked.
Message from my wife.
I got a bunch of I got boxes of Feastables and a Mr. Beast Nerf gun. There's only one though.
I'm stealing something from you.
Okay.
I'm taking this with me. What the fuck was I saying? Anyway, I don't even want to get into that shit. The point is, fuck Twitter and fuck my anti-miscegenation haters.
Did you see the Black Thor stuff when they did that?
Oh, for Heimdall.
Oh my God, with the fucking,
oh yes, that's what
with
I'm
the
talking
gold
about.
chains.
It's like, yo, we're ripping and rapping. That's Thor. Hip hop parade. It's like,
that shit was so funny.
And that's like this. The whole conversation is about black people controlling their representation and narratives and voices in mainstream media. And
by Odin's fade.
I think that was the actual line.
Yes, no, it was.
Right.
It's so like, good.
When you aren't critical of that, you get these shitty depictions of blackness that we've had most of the fucking, like, literally there's black media, which Obama kind of killed. And then there's, blackness in media, which it's like, it's a roll of the dice of what you're going to get. Are you going to Get Out or Spider-Man or You People that Kenya Barris just did? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or almost everything Kenya Barris does.
What do you think? Ooh, this is an interesting topic. What do you think about Kenya Barris?
Kenya Barris, shout out to...
He once called me handsome.
That's nice. You are handsome.
But I do have not disagreements, but I do have criticisms of his content.
Kenya Barris is every black creator worth something is trying not to end up like Kenya Barris right now. Because Kenya is very successful and he did a thing, right? He made Blackish, and like the first 2 seasons I was with it because I was like, this is new, this is cool. It's like black stuff happening here. And then by the 3rd season, it sets in what's happening. It's basically, here is a safe black commodity for the consumption of white people. You probably said that already.
I have a friend who wrote for the show that I make fun of all the time for that reason.
Yeah, and it's just like, all right, Kenya.
But I mean, get the money. I mean, don't.
I'm at a point where it's like get the money.
I mean, he's just a writer. He's not Kenya Barris. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, go ahead.
And like, we're not even gonna get into like the colorism on the show, and maybe in his, I'm just saying on the show. And it's like, so that's like, and those are conversations that don't even penetrate.
Like his last Netflix show was, his last Netflix movie was just like,
it was fucking horrible.
It was so bad.
It was like, not like, don't get me wrong.
See, I can't, but for the record, I normally would never say that in public, at least. You're here, so I'm like more comfortable.
I'm giving you.
See, this is why I'm too comfortable. I'm too comfortable.
So what did his last movie do, right? It tried to have a conversation. It was cringy on purpose. And so I gave it like a pass for that because I think it knew it was cringy. But like the longer I sat with, I was like, so like you got a whole Netflix contract, and this was the move you decided you were gonna do. And you were gonna have you were gonna give Eddie Murphy. You wanna like the whole concept of Hotel. You're gonna have Eddie Murphy.
He had that would have been the sickest character
if he was a real black nationalist.
Yes,
like,
it was complexity. It was so good. It was so unique. And it would have been so great, and then it wasn't. It was just like, it was just
what
left,
is the lowest hanging fruit
it was left flat on purpose, I think, because like if it actually was more complex, it would be terrifying to like a broader audience, which is white liberals.
Is the whole fucking point. Like you have him, he starts the movie out, his first scene, he has Fred Hampton was murdered on his chest, which is a radical, it's, oh my fucking God. It's the
we're talking about Kenya Barris's new
latest, not
his latest Netflix movie with Jonah Hill
and I can't remember the sister's name.
Yeah,
which is
You People is what it's called.
Somebody put it in the chat.
It was very feel good. It was like it was very like.
There's a complex conversation about commodifying blackness explicitly for a white audience. What is your range? What is your comfort zone? Are you Kendrick? I don't think anybody doesn't respect how Kendrick engages with his blackness, right? Kendrick definitely has a predominantly white audience because he's too big to not have that.
Yeah.
But Kendrick's art is very clearly informed by his black experience, and it is uncompromising in what he does with his art. So Kendrick gets like 10 stars, right? 5 stars to Kendrick. You go down a couple of steps and you get to like, chat, who name some black entertainers you all like, chat, because I know you all will give it to me. So you go a couple steps lower, you get Donald Glover. Okay, Donald Glover is still really good with
I think so,
explaining like a black ethos and a black aesthetic, and goes back and forth between saying, hey, white people, let me explain blackness to you, and then also, hey, here's some stuff about the black experience. And just genuinely just for that, right? Like literally every other season of Atlanta does that, right? And so
definitely a very interesting evolution from like doing internet skits,
doing Derek comedy.
Yeah,
are you OG? Yeah, because I was an OG Donald Glover. People think I hate Donald Glover.
All right,
yes.
the Derek comedy shit.
Yeah, people don't even know that shit. So and then you get to the lowest level, and you're probably at like. Damn, I don't want to do this to Kenya Barris. He's not, because I don't think Kenya Barris is cynical. I'll say this. Kenya Barris.
I don't think Kenya Barris is the lowest level. I think there's, what are those? There's the dudes
Drake.
That's a good one.
There you go. I'm sorry. How did I miss
it wasn't
this?
even, I wasn't even going to say
it's
that.
It's not Tyler Perry.
No, there's definitely lower levels than that. There's the dudes on TikTok that do like
TikTok,
the dancing while they're eating. Yeah. Like that's definitely at the lowest rung of content where it's like, explicitly for racist white people to laugh at.
Right. So I say it's not Tyler Perry, even though I have a lot of critiques on Tyler Perry, because Tyler Perry has no interest in a white audience. He's just incredibly manipulative and like pandering to a specific black audience that keeps giving him money. And now he owns BET from what I heard, which is, I'm not even gonna talk to you about that. I'm gonna say that for like, me and Ola Renati are gonna have to have a conversation about that. I refuse to.
I don't know anything about BET. I only know like the Leprechaun movie.
Yeah, see,
because I didn't grow up here.
I thought you were from California.
No, I grew up in Turkey.
Okay, I didn't.
I came to America in 2013. So,
are you serious?
Yeah. So that's part of the reason why, like, despite the fact that I have no accent and I have a pretty good understanding of like American culture, there's like massive blind spots, and that's one of them.
That blows my mind. So you've been here for just a decade.
Yeah.
Look at you doing the American dream.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly.
That's wild shit.
Yeah, I did it. Why can't you?
Why can't you?
Exactly.
Pull yourselves up by the bootstraps.
God, if I did commentary like that, I'd be popping. My life would be so much easier.
Freaking, damn, this is going too fast. I want to like talk shit to the chat.
No death threats. No, it's better. Trust me. It's better that you're not.
Oh, okay, good.
Not a bad thing.
Somebody said Candace Owens. So I guess kinda, yeah. I guess that's where we get to the bottom. Or even worse, like Jesse Lee Peterson.
Hello.
What's up?
My brother.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you, brother.
Marat.
But
he actually has a big boy job. He builds satellites.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So he's just in here.
He's the smart one. I'm the black sheep of the family
who makes all the money and everybody.
Unfortunately, yes. You would expect a fucking satellite building,
a literal rocket scientist.
A literal rocket scientist to be definitely way wealthier than he actually is.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, it's all good. What? So you just getting here 10 years ago. I think I asked this earlier. What's next? Is there a next? Like, are you like how long? Like I'm talking. You know, I'm thinking about how long I got. Like I literally need this massager. I'm going to take it from you.
You take it.
All right. So thank you. I appreciate that. Like, because I'm old, I cannot keep doing this. I have like numbness in this hand that I use to edit. Oh. So I'm like, I have maybe 2 or 3 years of making videos like I do right now left. Right. After that, I have to figure out how to continue to feed myself and my kids, yada, yada, yada. And I'll also be like pushing 50. So I just can't imagine myself being 50 years old arguing with, 20-year-old white kids on Twitter. So I think about that a lot. Mm-hmm. You have gotten way higher than me in like a shorter period of time ish. I don't know how long you've been.
Well, I mean, I've been doing commentary and writing and doing all of that on camera, especially like and in front of a prominent audience since I would say like 2014, 2015. So I've been around for a long time.
Okay. Well, so but yeah, so like,
but I blew up in 2020 for sure.
Okay, so you around the same time as me. So
yeah.
But like, so are you thinking when you're my age? Like I just turned 41, so you got 9 years, and then you might die. By the way.
Yeah, I know.
Are you gonna still be in front of this the channel looking at the chat?
I've had opportunities, even like earlier, like a couple of years ago, to make a change in my career to go in like the legacy media route that I refuse to take because I like what I do.
I would never do that.
I love like that's why I said like when you ask me how do you do this, I'm like I'm mentally ill. This is real. I like the editorial independence that I have. I like that I don't have to take on any fucking I like that I don't have to take on any advertisers if I don't want to. If I want to, I can do it. And I do enjoy having a sense of community. So the way I make this content, it's in many respects not very easy to recreate by others because no one wants to take on like the mental anguish.
Yeah,
that's
another thing.
We have very cushy lives. Ultimately, it's not like I'm fucking in the coal mines. You know what I mean? And doing backbreaking labor.
Right.
This can be backbreaking in certain instances because
but it does take it. Like literally, my wife.
Yeah.
Like I've gained probably 20 pounds since I've got 100,000 subscribers. I have multiple health concerns that I did not have before the stress of this work. People that saw the drama video saw me have a panic attack in the middle of an interview. And then like, my wife is like, dude, you're always on your phone working, which is partly just like checking analytics, like keeping up with the bullshit, reaching out to people.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My family always yelling at me about that.
And so like, I know like, even if, and so let me make sure when I say I'm not going to do legacy media, I mean like going on the news, I'm assuming is like what people want from you. Like I would never like do like normal shit, but like, it's like, as soon as legacy media comes with a big enough check, I'm going to cut that check and then like figure out how to live off of it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then do videos like every 6 months, like H Bomber guy. But I still have to say it's because this is a weirdly taxing job in a way that it's hard for people to understand. And I couldn't imagine, and that's me, one video a month. Maybe I'll tweet something stupid and controversial once every, 2 weeks, F.D Signifier, versus 10-hour streams 4 or 5 days a week, Hassan Piker.
I like it. I don't mind it. Like, it would be much nicer if everybody liked me, or at least was like charitable, or at least fucking left me alone if they hate me. You know what I mean? But I don't mind it. By the way, it's 7 days a week.
Oh, fuck.
I'm live 7 days a week. Yeah. But that's it. It's just, I enjoy it. I enjoy the sense of community that I have. It was almost a crutch for me, especially during COVID. Yeah. I was doing 13-hour streams every day, 13, 14-hour streams, 12-hour streams a day. Because, I loved having, I never took it for granted. I loved having a place where there were like-minded individuals that were like openly leftist, or at least willing to learn about these sorts of concepts. Yeah. Because like I said, when I started off, it wasn't like that at all. Yeah. So I never really thought that it would get to this point. And I strike I think I strike a decent balance. I have a lot of normal friends, normies, civilians that keep me grounded. I try to have like some semblance of a personal life that's not, immediately in front of everyone's faces on camera. I have a pretty strict like diet and workout regimen. I'm incorporating other stuff into the content I create, like with traveling and whatnot. Like I went to Japan recently. I'm going back again this upcoming week. So dope. So like I have I am at a point where I realize there's a lot of opportunity for me because I have all the material freedom to be able to accomplish things that I want to do. So now I can like marry that with content and do it that way.
That makes sense. I am
also, I don't have kids.
So that changes things.
Yeah.
Like I haven't had, that's one thing I'm scared as shit about is when my kids understand that I'm a YouTuber and they will ask me about Mr. Beast. And I will I will avoid talking too much about it.
I told you already. He's like, out of all the content creators that your kids will be watching, he's
the least problematic.
Yeah, he's like very PG. Like he's very PG.
Yeah, it is.
Now
I had a whole conversation with them about why billionaires shouldn't exist, and they teamed up on me. And so like now I'm debate brewing my kids. It's like I've really been infected by.
Yeah. Wow. They like billionaires. They're like, why not?
Because they're like, why not? They can help people. I'm like, well, so helping people and what is happening in this content are two different things. But I will say, shout out to my kids. When we were watching Spider-Man, the scene where Indian Spider-Man comes on, and he's like, this is where the British stole all our stuff. And I nudged my son, and my son's like, I know that the British are evil. And I'm like, yes.
It's good.
Good job. And then when he found out, I don't know what we just did or saw when he found out that Spain was also colonizing people.
Everybody calm down. It's like not a spoiler, okay? Chill.
It's a joke.
Spoiler.
I didn't even get the joke away. But so anyway. So like we're doing well, but like the kids thing changes things because like I think about that a lot. I think about if one thing, if I didn't have any kids, it was just me and my wife, right? Or if I was single and like I dropped dead in the middle of editing a video, it's a interesting Twitter thread, right? But like and I have black boys, and and there's like a level of the only thing I can call it is psychosis. In the way you have to look at the world when you're raising black children and black boys in particular, because the way that racism and white supremacy targets black boys is unique, but also, and it's unique for black women and black queer people, black trans people, etc. Like it's unique in all these ways, but I think it's one of the least understood dynamics because black boys are also on some moderate levels protected and engaged with patriarchy. And so people kind of leave that veneer of patriarchy on top of black men. Like, yeah, it's just y'all just be patriarchal. It's like, patriarchy don't work for us that same way. And like, I need my boys to understand that. And like, I can't expect anybody to teach them that except me. So if I leave here and some debate bro fan runs up on me on the street and I don't go home, like, it's a different level of disengagement, or more realistically, like, I'm fucking debate bro fans. If I leave here and I have a heart attack,
they don't leave their houses.
Right.
You're fine.
If I leave here and I have a heart attack or a stroke, from the stress of making content, it's a completely different opportunity structure for them. Like, completely different. Even though my wife has advanced degrees and can make plenty of money without me, made more money than me before I started doing YouTube, the absence of the guidance I explicitly provide, not even just a man in the home or father in the home, but the specific guidance of here's how to navigate and understand the world as a young black boy, they lose that. And then all these other negative outcomes raise exponentially. And so I am never thinking about this job outside of, or without thinking about when it ends, because it has to end at a certain point for me to know, like, I'm going to be healthy. And like, I've lost, like 4 or 5, I'm trying to lose weight very slowly so I don't like boomerang. So I've lost like 4 or 5 pounds in the last couple of months. And I'm seeing my doctors on a regular basis.
She's bored.
She's bored. Like, get back to, anyway, you get more of my point though. Like, so so I do get that. And I guess that's beautiful in a way. Like, I love that, all criticisms aside, you do you play a specific important role that wasn't here. As much as Sneeko and other people try to make the leftist men into soy boys. And that being bullshit, but it is explicitly valuable to present stereotypical traditional masculine images connected to these politics, and because historically they've always been there.
That's also part of the reason why, like, I don't really get too upset when, like, femcells will get fucking mad at me for some shit and be like, you're a child sex trafficker, because it is never like a normal argument. Because it's like, okay, well, it's fine. You're misguided in many ways, and it doesn't really matter. But like, I'm a counter to people like that. I'm a counter to people like the weirdos that want to take advantage of the pre-existing forms of acceptable oppression to basically make a career out of it, to use that as like a fucking rocket ship in the same way that Andrew Tate did, actually. Utilizing misogyny. Quiet, get down. I might need to take her out again to pee, because this is when she gets like rowdy and then does like the angry pee, which is, I can't even take care of a dog. I don't know how the fuck you take care of children. That's crazy.
It's define take care. Like, it's a challenge. I go ahead and do that.
Yeah, you can pause the chat by scrolling over and just like hitting the scroll. That's a big tip.
Cool. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let me get here.
Off. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Wait.
So what is all this shit mean?
Wait.
So it's a puppy emoji. Okay.
Sit.
And then
Kaya.
A screaming baseball.
That's just saying, let's go. Let's go emoji. Okay.
Did you like Spider-Man? Spider-Man was fucking amazing. It's top 10 probably all-time movie for me. Let's keep going. Have you played Fallout New Vegas before? It's good. I don't like open world games. I haven't played the new Zelda yet. I don't like open world games. Shout out CJ to X. Let's see. Oh shit. Can you touch your elbows together? Okay, all right. I haven't played Street Fighter 6 yet. I am at the age. I'm so good at Tekken that I can't play anything else. I'm too old to learn a new fighting game and be good at it. And so, like, with Tekken 8 coming out, my attitude is I'm not going to try to learn Street Fighter 6 because then I'll have to like go through a harder learning curve with Tekken 8.
This is good. I stress the importance to my chat that they should get their dogs to meet black people. So that
Yo, dogs are racist. People don't know that.
No, I know. I try to explain that because, like,
I think it was a chatter that said it originally where they were like, oh, are you like introducing your dog to black people? And then everyone started dunking on him. And I was like, no actually, that's literally why dogs become racist.
There's so many conversations around blackness that we don't even bother talking to y'all about. So one of the things is like, you can always tell when a dog will tell on you how racist or white your friend circle is by how they respond to you. And so if I come in your house and your dog is immediately suspicious and aggressive of me, I'm like, okay, you don't have any other white people in your house.
Yeah, it's like the only black person or the brown person they see is like the post office guy, you know, the postal service worker. Then they're like literally going to fucking bark at every black and brown person that your dog sees.
Buy your nieces and nephews children's books with black characters in them. That's one thing I would do with my friends of my kids. Is like for a birthday party, if we bring a gift, we would sometimes bring a gift with black characters in it because it's little like the way racism works is insidious. It's meant to be rendered invisible. You know? That's why you people and certain types of images of blackness being only a specific way is a problem because it doesn't challenge the status quo of how blackness has to exist in reality. So little shit like, you know,
not like critical race theory, brother.
And critical race theory is like,
or whatever Republicans define it as.
It's so like critical race theory is not even like it was never so. It's not. That's not even what these conversations even be about. And like critical race theory is very not mid. Like as a theory, it's a great, deep, dope theory, but it was never meant to be a like focal point of a political movement. It was meant to just be like a academic area of inquiry.
Well, that's precisely the reason why it was never like actually critical race theory that they were criticizing. It was always like
history.
Whatever, like an accurate telling of history from the perspective of like assuming black people are full-fledged human beings.
Yeah, or just recognizing the role white supremacy. Yeah. Like the I just started watching the 1619. Is it 1619?
1619
1619 project.
Oh yeah, I don't know anything about that. Wait, is there a show now?
It's like it's on Netflix. I think it's a 1619.
It's 1619 project, but I didn't realize there was a show around
Netflix
it too.
Netflix has a whole miniseries, or is it Hulu? I'm sorry, Hulu. And so like even something like that, right? Like, 'cause that's produced by Oprah. So it's like it does all this great stuff talking about the nature of white supremacy being baked into Americana everything. Mm-hmm. But it also, you know, and that's kind of the challenge. It pulls you know, well, from what I've seen, it pulls a handful of punches. I don't want to get into it. And that's kind of what happens with all black media because we have to filter ourselves through white institutions, you know?
Yeah.
So let's talk about Donald Trump because I don't know what the fuck's going on. He got indicted.
Donald Trump, he, in the most Donald Trump way possible, hid or refused to give back classified documents. And now he has like a very serious case against him. Like he might actually fucking like in a normal world, he would 100% go to jail. Like, let's just say it like that. If he wasn't Donald Trump, if it was anyone else, they like immediately go to jail. Like no shot. Obstruction of justice. There's 37 charges. Only one of them is like a little spicy, espionage, being like, you know, the intent to distribute it to like foreign entities or whatever. That one might not stick, but the 36 are just like straight up open and shut. And like they designed this case to be like impossible to argue against.
So so tell me if I'm fucked up here. I kind of want them to hold up because I would rather. So first off, let me be very clear. I don't fuck with what the fuck is our president's name? Joe Biden, right?
Yeah, Joe
but
Brandon.
If I have to pick between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, obviously Joe Biden. if I have to pick between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, I'm personally more scared of Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
And I think that Ron DeSantis could probably actually beat Biden in a general. I don't think Trump could beat Biden in a general.
I don't know if so I agree with what you said. I actually said this a while ago, like with respect to Ron DeSantis, but then I changed my messaging around it because like when I saw how he performed,
I haven't watched a single thing.
He has no charisma, and like the likelihood of him getting out of that primary alive is slim to none.
But what if
So I'm
Trump
basically
is in jail?
banking on a well Trump can still run from prison.
Yeah, you can.
Oh shit, you serious?
Yeah. In America, you can't actually vote from prison, but you can run from prison. Eugene Debs did it and won 1 million plus votes. Famous socialist Eugene V. Debs.
Okay.
So there is precedent for it. You can run from prison. You can become the president from prison. That opens up an interesting legal argument as to, considering that this is a federal case, he could actually technically pardon himself. It's never been done before for obvious reasons. So he could technically pardon himself and get out of prison. So he could still do that. So even if he goes to jail, it's like it's more so. I'm just banking on infighting between the Republican Party's like more reactionary base of support that comes out in the primaries and is a very important force to be reckoned with in the primaries, versus like how difficult appeasing that base while also trying to win over a general electorate.
Yeah,
because it's like pretty much almost impossible. The only way you can do it is if you are, as I like to say, Obama for white people.
Well, I mean, so
like
and that's
similarly charismatic to Obama.
They don't.
Like,
Do they have anybody like that? No. So with that's why I'm scared of DeSantis though, because I didn't know he had no charisma. I figured something had to be going on in Florida for him to win twice.
Over here.
And then I'm gonna bounce in a second.
Oh, you are? Okay.
There you go. No, because we gotta go to dinner. Got to feed the children.
Yeah. It's getting nice out too. Sun's coming out.
Yeah, we might actually. Well, they went to swimming, so we'll see. I'll see what my wife. I'll see what the kids is talking about when I get there. DeSantis. The thing that scares me about DeSantis is that white electorate will vote for DeSantis. They won't vote for Trump. Is my belief. Because
normal whites, like suburban whites that are like, I like tax cuts and like a little bit of racism, but like not so much volatility,
basically.
Are looking for a person who's going to give that to them. But
Trump forced them to acknowledge how racist they were in public for the first time. Like if I put my uncle's Hotep hat on for a second, and talk about the value of Trump. And this is something you will hear in a lot of circles and black barbershops, whatever. The one thing that is true is that Trump forced white Americans to like openly connect themselves to an overt racist, through political power, and like they would rather not do that.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that are like educated or wealthy suburbanites who want all of that without the optics of being associated with it.
Right. They don't want to wear
like
the
you
hat.
said, white supremacy is insidious and invisible. It's made to be invisible. So when you have someone who's like openly saying the things, that actually is very captivating. Well, unsurprisingly and terrifyingly very captivating for a big base of support. But after 4 years of that, I think people were like, "Yeah, I don't want this."
If I'm not mistaken, it was because Trump actually gained in every population except white men, in from 2016 to 2020, and that was the reduction in white male voters was the real reason why he lost, because that represents a much larger base of the electorate. In Georgia, like Stacey Abrams lost, right, but Herschel Walker lost to Guy's kind of okay. I can't remember his name right now though. Raphael Warnock,
radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
Radical leftist who hasn't said anything about Cop City as far as I can tell though.
He's not that radical.
Not that radical, but that's like right in his area.
Even though they did, I love whenever like there is a prominent black senator or anything like that, or in his situation he's also a preacher. they immediately hit him with the Jeremiah Wright, where they're like, he's connected to Jeremiah Wright.
Of course,
it was awesome.
Yeah, indeed. That I'm not gonna do any more Obama slander, but
no, you can do it all day. I mean, I do it nonstop. I don't.
When we go to Walker, like Walker lost because white moderates wouldn't vote for him. You know what I'm saying? And like they had a choice between Stacey Abrams, a quality Democratic candidate, and whatever our white guy's name is, who is a
John Ossoff.
No, John Ossoff won too, but no, the Republican governor candidate.
Oh, Brian Kemp.
Yeah. Who for what it's worth has not been like Ron DeSantis, right? He wants his Disney money.
He's Brian Kemp's actually really interesting because he's a fucking horrifyingly racist piece of shit, and his Secretary of State literally stole the election. Which, by the way, I don't know how you feel about Stacey Abrams, but I think she's not great.
She's
awful.
She is basically what I expect from Democrats at this point.
Yeah.
If all the Democrats,
exactly.
That makes sense. If all the Democrats were Stacey Abrams, that would still suck.
Yeah, no, she's
if she were the extreme, you know what I mean? If she were Cinema, if you replace Cinema with Stacey Abrams across the board in like the Democrat,
it would be better.
It would be better, right?
But then again, I don't know because she like immediately went and worked for Center for American Progress, got $5 million from Michael Bloomberg. There was also
everybody in Georgia got money from Bloomberg.
and then on top of that, the other part was like she apparently was like funneling money into her best friend's like law firm or something. There's like a lot of financial misdeeds.
They're going after her for like the wave she created because she became a little celebrity for the Democrats.
Yeah.
And she's a single large black woman, which makes her and going back to that optics target issue. So like they want to get her because like it's going to be a pile on situation. So I have heard that. I just like my relationship with electoral politics in general is I'm not paying attention at this point because I have minimal faith. But like if you aren't openly embarrassing and like I have to vote for you like with the same energy as like I wash my hands. You know what I'm saying? If I take a shit, I need to wash my hands afterwards because that's what you do. So it's like I voted for Stacey Abrams, I voted for Warnock because Georgia, Georgia is
I do think Warnock,
Warnock's got some shit in there.
Well, I would say that Warnock, as far as like the way he carries himself, as far as his background, as far as his messaging, definitely was more openly progressive than Stacey Abrams, though. Yeah. Whereas like Stacey Abrams hyper focused on like shifting demographics and how like we need to open up more. We need to open up voter access, and that was her primary thing. But
also police.
Yeah.
See, Warnock. I don't know a lot, so like, feel free, whoever clips or watches this, when we talk about getting into Warnock's past. But I know Warnock's into liberation theology, which is like an overtly leftist engagement with Christianity, and that it may not seem, you may not be impressed by that, but that
no, I would be impressed by it if it was real.
If it was, I've heard it's kind of real.
I'm just saying, like,
if it's real, like if it's tangible.
If it was like, if I saw it in his policies or in the way that he in the way that he even utilizes his bully pulpit, you know what I mean? Because like that's what I thought originally as well. Mm-hmm. That's why I was like, oh, like whenever people immediately go, oh, Jeremiah Wright, like
he's like, oh no, not me.
He didn't even fully do that, to be fair. He basically played up the MLK side of things and not
made MLK into Santa Claus, into Black Santa Claus, like all of them do.
Well, no, but I think he's literally from the same church, which is why he was just like saying like I'm close to MLK in my perspective, but like not the democratic socialism aspects, I guess, or the anti-imperialist aspects. But I don't know.
Not in Georgia. I mean, and that's the weird thing about where I think all leftist politics. So to give background myself, right? Like I started moving left in the middle of Obama's second term. I was like a lot of, I think, older millennials. Obama was like a turning point for me politically because like the first vote I ever laid was for Al Gore. So to kind of give you an idea of how things went from there. And so like you know, you go through however many years of Bush, and you have this extremely charismatic figure come forward, and he's black, and like I never imagined that I would actually see a black. Oh, what? Public safety justice is a false choice that we do not have to make.
I support law enforcement. I support the right of people to have their voices. God, he said he supports the right of people to have their voices heard in the conversation, but also he supports law enforcement. We need a comprehensive approach to public safety. Training is certainly a part of that. If our approach is comprehensive, police have to be trained somehow, somewhere. At the same time, we need a comprehensive approach, which means investment in mental health in schools. Oh, God.
Damn, did that just happen today?
I mean, yeah, literally earlier this morning, according to Axios. So, yeah. No, he did say something. He didn't say nothing. Say something. That's something. That's not.
It's not what I would have hoped. I would have rather him not said anything.
That's tailored to make it seem like he's not saying something when he's saying everything.
Well, I mean, you know, the Democrats. I mean, Atlanta is ran by black Democrats. Atlanta is ran by black Democrats, and it's like when people get mad at me for like. And I be mild as fuck in my Democrat attacks in my content.
Yeah.
I be real, you know, like, hey, it's bad for these reasons. Okay. And like other people are like, you know, really taking them to task. And I be mild, but I still get a lot of heat because that status quo is so fucking intoxicating. And like all the evidence is there that the people of Atlanta, especially the black people, do not want this police training facility. Let alone the fact that the police don't need more training. They're not actually going to be training. And training doesn't work, right? But like, you know, shout out to community movement builders. Shout out to Kamau Franklin. You know, they talked about the fact that they're now facing up against overt Democrat power structures to get this through. The DNC was planning on being in Atlanta. And they were like, we ain't coming to fucking Atlanta with y'all handling this shit. Like it'd have been a black eye in the moment. You know what I'm saying? I gotta find. Speaking of Cop City, real quick.
I have a question for you.
Yes, indeed.
This is something that I think about a lot. But I'm sure you have also seen this. But like we basically kind of briefly touched on it, where like a lot of content creators, I think, tap into younger black, predominantly male audiences by talking about pre-existing constructs like forms of oppression, whether it's like patriarchy or in certain instances it's like you know, anti-LGBT sentiment, things of that nature, PUA stuff. And I do think that kind of content has a lot of I mean it's captivating for younger audiences in general, not just black audiences, but younger men are looking for that kind of thing. And I don't, while there are more white counters to that sort of stuff, which is, you know, it's still ultimately not all that effective. There isn't like, I haven't seen a way where there's a big wave of, I mean, I guess outside of content creators that you mentioned in yourself, there isn't as big as a counter movement that is like objectively leftist. Black content for black audiences that's like objectively leftist. There are examples, but they're not as popular is what I'm saying.
So a couple of things. The reality is outside of Kevin Samuels, who was like an anomaly on so many levels.
Yeah.
That stuff isn't, that like overt misogyny isn't as appealing to young black men as you might think. And there's also not as much value in it for the content creator. What I think is more common, I just saw somebody say Tariq Nasheed, like, just like for me, but Tariq Nasheed's audience was white men. You know what I'm saying? And like,
damn, he's gonna come after you for that one. I never said that.
It's the fucking truth, Tariq. Your audience, when you were doing your pimp hustler shit, it was all white men.
I am pro ADOS movement. I don't know what this man is saying. Okay, please don't come after me.
And so you know, and Kevin Samuels' audience was probably, it definitely wasn't predominantly women, right? But it was way more women driven than male driven than your typical manosphere figure.
Yeah.
The actual black manosphere, those guys can't.
Because he was hot.
He was attractive. He was traditional. He was conservative in a palatable way. And so and he was talking directly to women, which is something the Black Manosphere couldn't do. The actual Black Manosphere, they can't get more than a couple, like 100 people in a given chat, right? So I'm gonna just be, if I'm honest, I think what you're seeing is mostly smoke and mirrors, and or
no, I was thinking more of like people like Andrew Tate.
Right.
And there are plenty of other like content creators that aren't like exclusively Black Manosphere content creators at all. I just meant like Manosphere content creators and how they can like sometimes capture an audience of young boys.
Right.
Which also happens to include Black boys as well.
So it's the same thing of why this fucking guy with the little Dirk. It's the same thing he's doing. It's the criticism I have through a lot of my content, which is Blackness is such a viable, valuable, and easily accessible commodity in entertainment, right? If I can project the Black image in the right way, people will pay attention because they love our shit, from rock and roll 60, 70 years ago to Obama 20 years ago to, whoever's coming next. They love our shit. And so you're always going to pull a handful of young, you're going to pull more people with anything you do if you're going to attach a Black aesthetic to it. And so with these young boys in particular, you're going to, just like your energy is going to collect young Black boys, like a Sean DeBlack, right? Is going to collect them into whatever you're doing. It's more so about, I actually did my paper, so I did my master's thesis.
I do think that is like much smaller though, for me especially. Like my Black audience is definitely, I would go so far as to say like, what is it, like 6%, 7%? It's actually lower than like someone like XQC, for example, would probably have like a larger Black audience because he's not like overtly political. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the politics changed that. But even, I would say XQC's Black audience and Andrew Tate's Black audience are still gonna be a lot smaller than, like per capita than mine or Corey Kenshin. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, because the thing people don't.
Corey Kenshin is who I was thinking of. That's like one good example, like great example
and
of like.
That's why we don't get through the doors.
A political content creator that is like, clearly putting on like a very solid message. Yeah,
and it's like I know you all just finished beef with them, and I'm not fans either. But like Abba and Preach, right? They're apolitical. They're definitely right wing, but they're like semi apolitical. They're gonna pull a bigger Black audience than Sneeko or Andrew Tate or any of these guys.
Yeah,
because like historically, that's kind of what I said earlier about patriarchy and Black men. We have access and are protected by patriarchy in a lot of ways, but the appeal of patriarchy doesn't look like the bullshit that happens on the internet. Most Black Manosphere dudes would be considered clowns in their like greater community. Like in real life, whenever I like Black Manosphere dudes are like debate bros in that they only have power and exist like the hyper misogynistic people. Only we get out of Black Manosphere. Like if there was a kid in my kid's school, a Black boy in my kid's school doing the Andrew Tate thing, he would probably be laughed at by the greater Black boys because it's so try-hard, because it's so divorced from the actual aesthetics of Black masculinity that they're seeing. And this is not to say, I want to be clear to anybody, to whoever's going to be critical, this is not to say that there aren't elements of, misogyny, misogynoir, all those things that are happening in the Black communities. It's just that comes from a different source than an Andrew Tate. That comes from the reality of Black life in Black communities. That comes to overarching influence of patriarchy. You might say that comes.
Yeah, that's why I specify by saying like I'm not doing the classic like white liberal shtick of being like, well, what about homophobia in the Black community? Like I wasn't singling out the Black community in particular to be like address these crimes. Like it was more so
trying to understand
it's like every community, and it exists in every community, and I feel as though like young Black boys are also susceptible to that kind of message, just like young white boys are. And
the
I guess for me, it's like I'm not accessible. Like I don't know how to approach it. I don't know how to reach out to.
You can't.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think I'll
just
be
not-
able to.
It's you will not have. You don't have the features that you need. So you can't. You're smartly and thankfully are not like if you were to become Eminem or some shit, right? If you were to come in here and like overtly throw on a black scent and like present like a black veneer, you could catch some of those same young boys. But you, thankfully, because I was
saying Aiden Ross, you want me to be Aiden Ross?
if you were Aiden Ross,
yeah,
you could do it because because a lot of these young boys
says, told you to wear a do-rag, dumbass.
please don't do it.
I would get
That's
canceled.
bad. If
I have worn it when someone sent it to me.
you didn't know what you.
Well, I mean, I had to. It's
That's gonna be on
a
the
black
cover.
fan of mine sent it to me on one of my PO boxes. I had to do it one time.
I'm not gonna. I'm going to hold that for you in the moment. But no, like Aiden Ross is actually a perfect example because he's racially ambiguous, kinda.
Yeah.
He presents this black aesthetic. He involves himself in the black vernacular, all these things.
Yeah.
And so like if you are a young black,
He talks about issues that like young black boys are talking about,
right?
as well.
But he ain't got shit on what's the fucking guy's name? Top of the food chain right now, streaming. Young black guy
Kai.
with locks. He ain't got
Yeah.
shit on Kai.
Yeah.
And so it's like the black boys are actually watching Kai.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
They love him.
I thank you for
It's like Kai and RDC are at the top, like with respect to that, and I think like RDC especially, I would say, but Kai as well. I think they like Kai for being so young. I think carries himself a certain way where he understands that like he needs to be brand friendly, which is a very good thing in my opinion.
And they're
like,
also trying.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, like the thing that when you're going back to like even talking about my sons, when you are a young black man, you don't have a lot of imagery to aspire to. Like the images, the positive images are often manufactured, and you can kind of tell. The negative images may feel familiar, but they're obviously negative images, and so like you're kind of in a wavelength in between those two extremes. There are young black men that don't fuck with me because I'm too soft. You know what I'm saying? I'm too gentle. I'm too friendly to like trans folks and queer people in my audience, right? And so maybe they'll like some of the younger dudes I fuck with more. And so those young boys are always looking for images. It's like all boys; they're looking for images that reflect what they're trying to aspire to.
yeah.
And so the absence of a black aesthetic, a manufactured, I'll be clear, black aesthetic, than you versus a Aiden Ross makes that difference. And then of course, there's a reason why so many manosphere major figures historically, maybe not now, have been men of color. Andrew Tate, Roosh V, Kevin Samuels, and probably a couple of more.
Andrew Tate transcends that so much that like
It's
I
weird.
often forget that he's like his dad was literally like a black chess.
He was
He wasn't a grandmaster, but like I think he was like
a
I am.
genius. Yeah, his dad was a black chess genius. His dad looks like the type of dude. Like when I saw his dad, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense now. But I want to get into that. And so like even though he doesn't engage with his blackness gives him an explicit access to like this.
People are saying I didn't know Tate was black. Yes.
Tate
Andrew
is he's technically half black, and people argue about that. You mentioned ADOS. I don't want to talk about it.
I was just kidding. I was definitely joking.
But like, so yeah, Andrew Tate's half black, and there's a way that white males in particular fetishize men of color, right?
Yeah.
Even a Roosh V or Andrew Tate, or even you, like, you're still spicy white. Like, if you were from Wisconsin, you wouldn't have this chat doing what you're doing.
Probably.
You would have to be more like an Aiden Ross or insert shitty debate guy here to get.
It's actually really interesting. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Because like I'm Turkish, so like I'm technically white. You know what I mean? In the way that I grew up in Turkey, I'm a part of like the dominant in group. like if whiteness is proximity to power, I'm politically white. So I never really thought about it as like being anything but that.
You're not Georgia white though.
Yeah, no.
You're not come visit me in Atlanta white, and so because of that, there's people in this chat. It's not like, and to be nice to the people in the chat, it's a very unconscious thing because, as we've said multiple times, white supremacy is insidious and renders itself invisible. So you don't even know that that there's a projection of man, and then also you're an attractive man, you're a tall man. You know, all these different features. Yeah. And so like there's an attachment. You're about a bunch of white people in your chat are gonna be like, oh my God, I have to stop. I'm racist. I'm gonna stop watching Hasan. But because of that, like that is how a lot of this shit works. And so you're maneuvering multiple discourses of race and gender unintentionally. And so, so like Kai or like in the politics combined with the absence of certain aesthetics is not going to find 15-year-old, like the same 50-year-olds that might fuck with me, even though I have the same politics. You know what I'm saying? They see, okay, they got the locks.
I think our audiences are nerdy though. That's what I mean. Like
they're not as nerdy as you think.
You think so?
Well, my audience isn't as nerdy as you
because like
think.
The way I see it is like I play a lot of basketball. It's like one avenue that I have to like talk to people directly that don't know who the fuck I am. And I take advantage of that as like a normal person. You know what I mean? And every time I talk to like, I don't know, I mean, there's a very diverse group of people, but like anytime I talk to like black teenagers, they love Aiden Ross. They know about Aiden Ross. They obviously love and idolize Kai. But I don't think they're like that invested. I mean, it's sampling bias, obviously.
Well, no, it's. I mean, yeah. So them in particular, right? I don't know. I can't call it, especially with Aiden. But it's also like the aspirational masculinity. They can't aspire to what you're doing that much. They have to find something that is more in line with what seems realistic and what seems accessible. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. If they aspire, like the same, if they aspire to what you're doing too much, they're going to face criticism from their peers because of how distant you are from black aesthetics. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's like you just it is what it is. And on the flip side, one of the reasons why I do what I do is because I want to break down why that aesthetic isn't all that healthy to begin with, so that, young guys, young black boys are aspiring further to even like a Childish Gambino, who I'm like very critical of, or what's the dude that plays, he's in Lakeith Stanfield, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, who
also is like, he's gone down like a weird path, I think, post-COVID.
No, don't tell me.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I loved him. I love him. He worked with fucking Boots Riley. Like, you can't. It doesn't get any better than that.
So I figured
I think who knows?
He may just had a moment because he's also a rich actor. Thank you.
Yeah, post-COVID.
Like, don't say Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, no, I thought he did like post-COVID. I remember seeing some stuff, but.
Somebody will do
I think he's maybe it's not like that. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. We're gonna rebuke any. We're gonna hold that. I can't bury any more black men I admire. Like between we started with Cosby however many years ago, and like I wouldn't even get into the Kanye shit. And, and fucking now Killer Mike, like people I wasn't even expecting to come out of a bag like that. Anyway, I'm about to take this and just.
Oh, here, I'll give you the Mr. B stuff. Hold on. People are still saying Killer Mike isn't bad.
Hey, he's not as bad as like, insert other person here, but it's a problem.
Let me see if I can close this off again. Here. What is this? Let's see. I don't even know what this is. I didn't even open this yet. Here you go. It's like a Nerf gun. You don't have to show it.
Oh, I don't have to show it?
It's fine.
There's the Mr. Beast face. He has a bar named D's Nuts.
Yeah.
D's Nuts.
Oh, he sent me so much. What the fuck? Oh, dude, these are massive packs of...
Oh, God.
Text nuts to 69420.
This is why I should have listened to my friends.
What did they say?
And not came on here. If they'd have told me he's gonna give you Mr. B stuff,
Nuts stuff.
These nuts.
No, they'll love it though. I mean,
I know they're gonna love it, Hasan.
Yeah,
that's the
crazy.
fucking problem.
Yeah.
Why isn't this like stuck?
I don't know, but here you go. Both of those boxes.
All right. We're gonna take Mr. B's stuff for the babies. I'm gonna take this massager. Let me see what else I'm gonna grab. No, let me stop. This was dope, man. This was dope. Appreciate you.
Thanks for coming
I don't
on,
know next time I'm coming to Cali, but when you come to Georgia,
Don't forget your phone.
I might need that.
Yeah. Here you go.
I'll chat you up, man.
All right. Peace, man.
Okay. Let me move this back real quick. Yeah. All right, you can, come sit back down while I go pee. You can address them personally on a final note.
Final notes.
You can sit here. But don't show your phone to the camera or my address, please.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, shit. Let me just do that first then. I know, man. I know. Don't pay any attention to whatever your chat says.
Why? What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
They're saying W crime, no snitching. All right, I already. What did you take?
What?
Or don't show your phone though.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Yeah, that's the one thing that like is the hardest
That's
for people.
wild. Are people really like?
Oh yes. Shit. Oh, absolutely. Welcome to the silent library. Oh my god. Okay, don't tell me anything.
Yeah.
I think we have to check out Durag Hasan. Wait, is it?
Oh,
Here. There it is.
This is why we struggle.
This is I was.
Big up the whole island, massive.
Oh god.
Put one on?
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna put it on, dude.
They sent it.
Oh.
This is
Big up the whole island, massive. It's your boy Chatana coming straight from the Golden Globe.
is this Chet Hanks?
Yeah, it's Chet Hanks. You've never
Yo,
seen
I've
it?
never seen him actually do that shit.
Yeah, that's Chet Hanks.
Oh,
He's
fucking god.
good.
I'm just trying to make. I'm just checking to make sure I don't miss my joint. Oh, Hasan, you have transgressed.
In the name of God,
But it's okay.
I ask the great extractive industries, mining, oil, forest, real estate, agribusiness to stop destroying forests.
Okay, this is okay. Listen, I can explain. Okay, I can explain. No, why did you guys show him this? No. Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my God, these are awesome.